Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of DadVGirls After Hours, episode
64.
64.
64,
So,
64,
Zulane. Listen, that is such a niche reference, right? Unless you've got kids that are sort of Casey and Grace's age. That was a program when they were younger. Or you might be that young that you listen, yeah.
It's my delivery code is 64. You know, it's always the
You're
same
not
number.
supposed to tell people that. I don't think it would matter.
It don't matter. But anyway, it always sticks in my head because of that tune.
64 Zulane.
But we are back, guys. We are back from the most amazing holiday, the most amazing 12 days.
In Florida.
So much fun. Very full on. Can't wait to get into it. But can I just start by saying, like, I feel gross.
What?
The amount we have eaten.
Oh.
And the food and the type of food we've eaten. Like, I am so ready for some good, healthy food. Routine back.
So just for reference, we landed yesterday. Obviously, you do the red-eye flight, the night flight back from Florida. So we landed yesterday morning. What time did we land in at Heathrow? Like
8 a.m., 8:30 a.m.
8 a.m. in the morning. Obviously, you always feel like, oh, just so icky, don't you?
Yeah.
I normally always go back to bed and I always get in trouble from you because you're like, you're not going to get over the jet lag. You need to like push through. You need to fight it. You need to stay awake. And I'm always like, no, don't even talk to me. I'm going to bed. Well, this time I just had one of my ADHD tablets, which obviously keeps me awake. And I was brilliant. Like I just went straight to work.
You went straight back into it, straight back to routine.
I didn't actually end up going to bed till 1 a.m. So yeah. Anyway, so back into routine. But the food in America, the thing is with American food is they have so much variety. So you kind of want to just try everything when you're there. You see all the viral stuff that you see on TikTok, like Raising Cane's. Like for every one fast food restaurant we have here, they have like 100 per one. Like that's like the ratio.
And you're eating that breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Yeah. And you want to try it all. But even when you go to like Walmart or the supermarket or the gas station, there's so much variation. Like they'll do cinnamon. I mean, if you guys saw my stories, I mean, you know how obsessed I am with cinnamon. They do it in everything.
Yeah.
There is cinnamon. There is peanut butter in everything. Like, so you go there and you're literally like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah. So after 12 days of eating like that, we really all as a family start to crave some nice, healthy food.
You literally crave vegetables when you're in Florida.
Yeah. Last night, Casey made me dinner and I was loving the broccoli. Like I never would have said that. So
to come home to a HelloFresh box, which is today's sponsor for the video, is literally just like heaven because it is just such good food.
It is needed, that's for sure.
Before we get into why we love HelloFresh so much, I just want you guys to know about the offer that they have on, which is a very, very good offer. It's 50% off your first order and 25% off the next 2 months. But wait for it. It's also free dessert for life.
For life.
For life.
Like, what?
Free dessert for life? That just, even just that
win-win.
statement just seems crazy.
It's a win.
So if you want to claim this offer, you can scan the QR code, which is on screen now. And the code to use on site is HelloDad50.
Hello, Dad.
Hello, Dad. 50. The great thing about HelloFresh is it's affordable meals with no waste. So if you think about it, normally if you're budgeting for your food shop and your dinner, you're going to the supermarket, you always end up buying more than you need. So stuff ends up going in the bin. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of food. The great thing about HelloFresh is you know what your fixed costs are for your dinner. So it's so easy to budget for. And meals actually start from £1.62 per person.
Obviously, we love this. It's fresh. It's delivered to your door. And did you know that you could also pause it? So if you do go on holiday, it is so flexible. You can just let them know you're going away. Or if you want to have a week off, then just do that. And then you can just pick it back up when you're back. So this was nicely delivered to our door. So we've got some fresh food now that we are back. So HelloFresh works for us as a family because anyone can get involved with the cooking. We can get the girls to do it. They are really
Casey and
simple.
Grace actually do some of the cooking.
Casey loves HelloFresh. Like, she often cooks for us, which is really a really nice treat.
And the thing is as well, is what we end up doing as a family is we end up eating the same thing over and over.
100%.
And with HelloFresh, it gives us variation. And also, we're cooking it. It's like we're learning and we're also learning what new things we like.
I'm starting to pick things that I wouldn't normally necessarily pick. So that's why I like it as well. So I definitely recommend them.
So guys, if you want to try HelloFresh, use our discount code. It is such a great offer. It's 50% off your first box. It's 25% off the next 2 months, and it's free dessert for life. All you need to do is scan the QR code, which is on the screen, or there is a link in the description below, and the code is HelloDad50. Check it out. You won't be disappointed, and it is going to be a brand new dinner time in your house. The offer is available for new customers and anyone that cancelled their subscription at least 12 months ago. So obviously we did overindulge in Florida in the food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have digital scales, right? And they link to an app on my phone. When I got on them this morning, it came up with a notification. I'm not even joking. I screenshotted it. It said, "Are you sure this is you?" Right? Because the weight had changed so much since I last got on them.
We've only been
Sarah,
there 12 days.
You're not even good. I have the evidence to prove this. How much weight do you think I put on?
Well, I've only put on like 2 pounds, so a few pounds.
2 pounds?
Yeah.
2 pounds? That's all you put on?
Yeah. I said this to you.
Sarah, I put on over a stone.
No way.
This is what it come up and said. I don't know if you can see this on the camera. It says the weight data is more than 2 kg compared with the last measurement. I have to click yes, it's mine, or no, it's not me. Okay. So I was like, first of all, it's like, oh no, it's not me. Must be a mistake.
Get back on it. It still is.
So I've got the weight. I was like 11 stone, just over 11 stone when we left. I'm 12 stone, 4 pounds.
Oh my God, that's like a pound a day.
Yeah. Because what were you doing? Did you not see? I was eating so much food. I felt like, I can't even explain it. I couldn't stop eating when I got there. Like snacks. I was like a pig.
I felt like I didn't really snack, to be
I didn't even feel like hungry. I just felt like just eating all the time.
I think because
Can I just say, I think because I had lost a lot of weight, like this year, like I was losing weight.
You've been really good at being good at eating, so you
I
did
think
it over and
because I was at such a low weight where I'd been eating really good, it was so much easier for me to put on.
100%. And the fact that you had allowed yourself to do that, do you know what I mean? Because you'd been so good before going. Joel has like this switch, like if he wants to eat healthy, or you can just do it. I can't.
I think I have a switch the other way as well. When I want to really go for it, like in America, I flipped the switch on turbo and I was just eating.
Yeah, like.
But the thing is, the difference. So I have this switch that I can flick and then I can be really good. You just look at a salad and you lose like half a stone. You literally like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy. And then you just have like a salad one day and go to the gym like Pilates once. And you're like, oh, I've lost like 3 pounds. I'm like, what the hell?
No, I think
you get in shape so quickly.
I think I haven't been in shape for a very long time, but
when you go for it though,
I think my issue is, so I'm pretty sure I have like IBS, and we've been figuring this out. We haven't really spoke about this on the pod, but like I get really bad swelling. I feel gross. I feel sick.
You get pain. You get like a pain in your belly.
And I think because in America eating that kind of food, obviously anything fried and stuff, it just doesn't do my belly good. I don't think I overindulged the way everyone else did because I physically can't. Like there was days that I couldn't eat because I felt sick, or like when we flew home, I felt ill the whole flight. So I didn't eat anything on the plane, no snacks, no nothing, because my belly hurt so much. So I have had like intolerance tests, and I have got quite a few intolerances. So I'm trying to be a little bit more like better with what I eat and trying to cut a few things out. But
well, you got to figure it out because you can't just be in like pain.
And it wasn't until, because just before we went on holiday, I started cutting things out, and it weren't that I realised how normal having a bellyache and feeling sick was to me. When I started to not feel that, I was like, oh my God, like this is actually, it just became normal that I felt a certain way. So yeah, so this is the journey that I'm going to try and start. But so I think that's why I didn't really eat too much. Because
I ate enough for both of us anyway. So, but I
still do feel gross though, because we did only eat like fast foods and
I don't feel gross. I feel like I had a great time.
No, like I'm
back to reality now. I'm like, I was on holiday. I ate like an absolute pig, and I'm back and I'm eating good again. So I enjoyed myself. Anyway, let's get into the holiday. How was your holiday?
It was good.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was? It's like anyone that's been to Orlando, like it's full on. When you go theme parks, when you're driving and you're like, it's not a kind of holiday where you're on the beach and you just chill out. So we did have a couple of days towards the end where we then
Also, we're in a big group, right? So obviously we went with the 7 of us as a family. We went with
the Piggotts and
we went
my
with the
sister,
Piggotts, which are
5.
a family of 5, and
My mum
also
and
your mum and dad.
It was
So
14.
as a group, right? Which I love going on holiday as a big group and all the cousins, like, you know, just spending time together. But it is annoying doing anything because it takes us forever to just do anything because there's so many.
Too many opinions, or too many people getting ready to leave the house, or what kids want to sit in whose car.
Oh my God, the sitting in the
was-
car situation. Wait, now it just sounds like we're having a moan. We've had the best
No,
holiday.
we have, and this is what I'm
No,
saying. Like,
we
no,
need to say
like,
the good things.
No, genuinely, we did have the best time, and we loved it. But what I was trying to say, this is what I was saying on the way here to a friend. I'm like, it just was a full-on holiday. Which, if anyone's been to Orlando,
You need a holiday after the holiday. That's the thing.
I said I need
Yeah.
a spa day.
Yeah.
And my poor little brain, I was the one that was like on the itinerary, like thinking about where we're going to go for dinners, or like
Yeah, me and you both, baby.
my brain was just like fried.
Yeah, me too. Fried.
I mean, we still did like
Another fried food.
we still did like the washing when we were there, because we knew that
it's a very different holiday. When we went to Mexico and we went with the Piggott family as well, it was so much more chill because it was like all you can eat buffet. So you knew what you was doing. There was no decisions to make. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, you're in the buffet, and then you're by the pool. So it's like you're very switched off. You don't need to be like on the ball. You don't need to be thinking. There's no decisions. Like you're chilling. And then Orlando is like,
and then they cater for you, so they know there's going to be a table of how many turning up, because
trying to get a table for dinner for 14 people.
I think it
was a nightmare.
How many? Like there was a few nights we ended up just getting fast food on the way home.
We ate so late.
We couldn't get into a restaurant. Like it was.
Yeah, but I'd say so we've done Florida quite a lot. And when we normally go, we do like all the theme parks. The thing is with Orlando, if you haven't been, you could be in a theme park every day for 14 days and still not done everything. So this time we're just going to pick 2 theme parks to do. And so we picked Island of Adventure, which is next to Universal, which has I'd say it has, if you looked at all the best big rides in Florida, most of them are in there.
Yeah.
Right, so it's
the best one.
It's really good, especially for the older kids and adults.
Yeah.
And then in terms of Disney parks, we picked Animal Kingdom to do.
It's our favourite, yeah.
Magic Kingdom, which is the main one. If you go there in the Easter holidays, it is chaos. It is so busy.
Anytime you go there, it's busy.
It is so full on. There is it is magical, but when you get in there, especially when it's hot and you're in Florida, it feels very overwhelming. Animal Kingdom just has this vibe to it, which is so chill. It's obviously very nature inspired. There's loads of animals. There's loads of greenery. It's not quite as busy. It just feels real chill. So I'd say if you are going to go Animal Kingdom, there's not loads and loads of rides, but there's a good mix.
There's only 7. That was that included?
It's 7 main rides there. And you can also walk around the animals and stuff. I took Maddie, walked around because you lot all went on Avatar, and I took Maddie for a little walk, and we went round. We saw gorillas, we saw hippos,
bats. She kept
bats.
For the rest of the holiday, she kept drawing a bat. She had every time we got in the car, I would have the magnetic drawing thing. Every time I'm drawing an animal. What is it? But a bat. Yes.
How did you know?
Yeah. I'm drawing an animal. What is it? Maddie, is it a hippo? No. Is it a bat? Yes. Oh, wow. It was
she
always
must
a
think
bat.
you're so good at this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then what we did for the last part of the holidays, we went over to Anna Maria Island, which we've never done before. We normally go to Clearwater.
Yeah.
So it's similar to Clearwater, but it's bigger. There's more to do on that island.
Well, I'd seen so many people have saying that there were turtles and manatees around the beach, but I didn't realise that actually that starts from May, and we were there obviously in April, so we've just missed it. So, but we saw dolphins. I went on a boat trip.
I feel like we should I feel like there's so much to
I know. I feel like we need to go back and go.
Okay,
back.
let's go back.
Let's go back to the beginning when you forgot your driver's license. That's probably the very first thing. If you saw our vlog, we got off the airplane.
Is this how honey we need to talk?
Yeah,
Okay.
And I even saw a comment
let's
saying,
get it done. Let's get it
I
over and
can't
done
wait
with.
for
And then
Honey We Need to Talk when they get back because of Joel forgot his license.
Oh yeah. Thanks for that.
Yes, this is our Honey We Need to Talk. If you saw our vlog, I was laughing and smiling, but honestly,
This was the flying out there vlog.
this pissed me off. It's like, this was like, how can you not take your driver's license? And I had to do all the driving, which I don't mind doing some of the driving, but then all of the driving.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Sure.
I do. I did feel
There was
bad.
one night
I
we
was
went for
very
dinner and I was
apologetic.
like, I really wanted a cocktail and I couldn't because I had to drive. I was like, no.
Yeah, I feel two ways about this. One, I do feel very stupid for forgetting my license. Like, I just didn't think, and I also don't know why they couldn't just take a look at a picture of it. But anyway, yeah, I did feel very stupid. I did feel very bad that you had to do all the driving. But I also feel like if the shoe was on the other foot, I just wouldn't have made a big deal about it. I just would be like, yeah, it's cool. I'll just do the driving.
I'm going to forget it next time.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
That's fine. I will do all the driving. I'll just do it. Like, it's cool. But yeah, forgiven. Yeah. Like, it's been 12 days.
Yeah.
Like 14 days, I think it's been.
When we get to the, because if we're going to go through our holiday.
Okay.
When
there
we
is
get to
one
the
point.
end and you hear, we'll see if I'm over it. I don't know yet.
I'm honestly lucky to be sat here alive right now. And I do feel for you. That was a terrible experience. That was a very terrible thing that happened.
We'll get there. But anyway, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Panic attack in a bit.
So yeah, we land. I realise I don't have my license. Sarah has to do all the driving. Okay, we're over that bit.
Yeah. To be fair, it actually wasn't that bad. I did enjoy driving. I mean, it is hard when you're driving on the other side of the road and your seat is on the other side. So we did have one point when I was driving, you was asleep. I completely misjudged it. And all of a sudden we were like up the curb and down. Like if some poor old lady was walking her dog, that dog whoosh would have been gone. Like
I've woke up thinking that her car was rolling over or something. I thought, what the hell?
my mum and dad were in the car like the donk.
Yeah, you're like, normally you're a good driver. You was actually such a bad driver over there. And the thing is, like, you always, you, Casey and Grace always slate me about my bad driving, right? Continuously. I literally said one comment and you had the raging ump with me. And I'm like, daily, because you talk about my driving. I'm literally like,
bad. You don't feel bad about your bad driving. I felt bad. I'm apologizing. But then it got to the point where I was in hysterically laughing. I had tears down my face because I was like, just pictured the way my car, little car, a huge car, is driving. It's gone like up the curb and down.
It's a monster of a car.
This car was so big. So if you know at the moment, I drive like a big 7-seater here, like an X7. It felt huge when I bought it. Well, when I got back from America after driving their big car, my car feels like a bloody go-kart. It feels tiny.
Their cars over there are massive.
I got in it yesterday with Casey and I took it for a car wash because it was dirty when we got back. I'm like, oh my God, you're so close to me. Whereas when you were next to me in America, if we held hands, we're both reaching out. Like,
yeah, I actually really like that. I was actually annoyed at myself because I actually quite like driving over there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the first couple of days were actually really chill. It was really nice. We didn't really do too much the first couple of days.
It was nice not having that feeling of like we have to fit in 800 theme parks.
Yeah.
Because when you get there, sometimes it's quite stressful because you're like, you literally got to go.
The jet lag, the kids have got to get over that whole time difference, which, touch wood, like our kids are always really good with just getting on with the time of wherever we go. We don't seem to struggle with them waking up in the middle of the night or not.
Yeah.
It just kind of works. I don't know why, if that's the airplanes that we take and it just kind of helps, but
if that's the we take special airplanes that
no,
deal
the
with jet lag.
timings, as in
You make it sound like we
flew
fly
through
private.
the day, so by the time we landed it was like nighttime for us, but then we had to drive.
I was in the time of the flight.
So it then works out America bedtime because they're 5 hours behind. But
also, can I just say, like, I've seen people ask or comment this before, like, about us flying business class, right? Why we don't fly in business class? Like, do you know how much money it would cost us as a family of 7 to fly business class?
Oh my God.
It would be
five.
Like, the thing is, right, if you buy business class tickets, right, it's so expensive. If you go to the airport and you get there and the plane's not full and you upgrade, it's kind of reasonable sometimes, right?
Because we were going to try and get my dad business class because he's scared of flying.
And he's
It would have been like £500.
It would have been like £500.
That would have been
That's just for
reasonable.
one way. But if you book it in advance,
Oh,
it's
thousands.
like I don't know. Instead of it costing
I think it was like £5.
how much did it cost us per person to fly economy?
Just
like grand.
Yeah, I was going to say just under
£1,000,
I think.
It would have been about at least £5,000 per person. What's that times 7? 5 times 7, 5 7s. Commonwealth. Someone in here.
3,500. 35 grand. Yeah.
35 grand is how much it would cost us. I don't even care. I don't even care how much money. Even if I had like so much money, I just don't think I could justify it.
No, if we had so much money, I'd be saying, yeah, do business, but we don't, so we can't.
It's just a crazy amount of money, okay?
That is
if we had less kids, maybe. No, even then, I feel like even if I was flying on my own, I would not justify £5,000. I would justify like the upgrade.
My
like
only thing I did say that, because we've talked before, like, oh, do you see if they have upgrades and that on the way to the airport or on the way back or whatever, and we're not really too fast. But I did say to you, after flying home, Sophie used to like be really easy flying, and the bigger she's getting, the harder it's getting to fly with her. Out of all the kids, she's actually the difficult one.
Yeah.
And
she doesn't sleep. She sort of does. She can't rest. She's very restless.
She's so uncomfortable. She's so long. Her legs are so long. And
she's like...
And so I feel like obviously so many kids will have this issue. But when I see the other kids sleeping, or she can't understand that you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable. So she gets so angry. She was punching the chair and she was like, I just want to be at home. And I was like, oh, like.
Because when we said.
Get her to lay over me.
When we said before, like we've sort of joked or also sometimes even spoke about like, because if you go for an upgrade at the airport, they've never got 7.
They're going to have 7.
They're never going to have 7. They might have like 2, right? So I've sort of joked before, like, oh, me and I'll take one of the kids. But then you said after we got the flight, I'm actually thinking like next time we fly, like you and Sophie just go in business. I'm like, sounds good to me.
Because
sounds good to me.
I think she would.
And if there's only one seat, just me.
I think she would benefit from it because she could then lay out like. Out of all the kids again yesterday, so obviously we landed back yesterday, Chloe and Maddie actually did manage to have a really good sleep. Maddie slept the whole flight and Chloe slept for about 5 or 6 hours. Sophie only had a couple of hours because she just couldn't get comfy. And then she was exhausted yesterday. Like she really was struggling throughout the day. So I think if it is
I also think about it just from content. Like I'm like, that because obviously like our best performing, like the videos that people just seem to not be able to get enough of, right, is us flying anywhere. It doesn't even matter where. They're all like, I don't necessarily even understand why you guys love it so much, because I feel like it feels repetitive, right? But I love filming them. Obviously Sarah hates me filming them because she just wants me to be helpful. I love filming those vlogs, but I'm always trying to think of like, how do we make it more interesting? So I'm like, if we had it that I'm in business with, say, Sophie, and you lot are in economy, and we're switching between the 2 points of view, I feel like that would be such a funny vlog. And so I'm kind of like, from a content point of view, we should definitely do that.
Wow. Sounds riveting.
Do you know, it might not to you, but to people watching, I think they would love that. And I think they would prefer it if I was in business and you were in economy. I just feel like the narrative would just be funnier.
Yeah. I mean, I only think of it for my Sophs, so.
Yeah, that's what I mean as well. That's all I'm thinking about. It's just my Sophs and my vlog.
I don't mind whether it's me or you.
Going back to Florida food, like from a content point of view, I feel like I could stay there for a month and film a video every single day. Because over here, we have food videos do so well for us. And like people love it, but we are so limited on our fast food options here. It's so difficult. And then when you go to America, it's endless options of like things. So obviously Casey was filming for her vlogs and she was filming TikTok. So she was doing like trying different viral foods.
Oh my gosh, those cookies.
She did the crumble cookies.
Oh, there was one in particular, the double chocolate.
fudge one.
Oh, I
But
wasn't a fan of the other ones, but that was delicious.
but is it any more delicious than just like another delicious chocolate cookie? Like I feel like these viral things, like it's all about perception. Like it's not actually
100%.
viral because there's anything like groundbreaking. It's more just
She only
like
went
good
there because they did
marketing.
like a Kardashian collection. That
And
was
they
the
didn't
week
have it.
before, and it didn't have it, so she didn't.
Yeah, but people are like queuing up for these cookies and like they're all right, but they ain't worth queuing up for. Like no way.
There's a
Like,
place in New York that does that just for the pizza, and people say it's just a slice of pizza, but the
But
queue is so
the thing
long.
is, it's the experience.
Mm.
That's the thing. It's like it's the queuing is part of the experience, right?
Yeah.
So things that we wanted to try, which we did try, obviously Raising Cane's is like so viral over TikTok and everything like that. First of all, we tried Chick-fil-A. Not a massive fan of Chick-fil-A.
No, I wasn't.
Like I love sauce. They don't put sauce in any of their chicken burgers. Like you can add sauce, but like
And what we
don't
found
know.
as well, first of all, like the
it's quite salty.
the
the chicken.
area we were staying in, all the fast foods there were pretty ropey.
Yeah.
It wasn't until we filmed with Casey's and we had to travel for it a little bit further up.
Went to a nicer part of town.
When it was in like, genuinely, the food was nicer. Like
The staff were
the
nicer.
staff were nicer.
Oh
the
my God, I had the
venue
worst
itself-
experience at Wendy's. Oh my God.
At Wendy's.
Was it not Wendy's? Yeah, it was Wendy's.
I
The
thought it was...
drive-through. You're joking?
Oh, yes. I was trying to think. No, I was what you were talking about when we filmed the gas station one.
No, that was bad, but funny because I was filming. I'm glad, like, but when you're
Yeah.
not filming and you're just tired and hungry and whatever. So it was it after a theme park?
Yeah. Yeah. It was on the way
Yeah.
home.
I think it was after Disney. So obviously you've had a long day. You're tired. The kids are tired. Like you're all in the car. Like we're a family of 7 in a car after a long day. We go to a drive-through and at Wendy's, and they like it just was a bad experience. Like the staff were like really rude. Just like I don't know, it's just such a bad vibe. And they were getting our order wrong, and they weren't listening to us. Like they gave us 2 drinks of.
Out of 7. I'm
7,
like,
they
oh,
gave us 2 drinks.
you're missing 5 drinks. She's like, no, I'm not.
And us being like
was like,
British, we're being very
I was
polite.
like, yeah, I've ordered 7 meals. And
She
I've only
closed the
got
window
2.
on Sarah. She literally slid the window across as Sarah was talking and just walked
I
off.
was like, okay.
And we were trying to get their attention. And then some other lady came over like, what? And I'm like, well, we're missing like 5 drinks.
I'd leave if you just gave me my 5 drinks.
And she was like looking at the receipt as if we're like trying to steal these drinks. And they're on the receipt, right? And it's like, okay, cool. So we get our drinks. Eventually we get all our food. Just the whole thing, like they're just rude, right? And then we go and pull up and I get my burger out and I take a bite of my burger and my burger is cold, right? And the thing is, I love my food to be hot and I just can't enjoy it if it's not.
Yeah.
And anywhere else, right? I don't do this a lot, but if you just go in any fast food and you're just like, oh, could I swap this for like a fresh one because it's cold? Like they'll just do it. So I went to go and walk in the store. All the doors were locked. There's people in there, but they obviously locked the doors so new customers can't come in because it's late.
It's late, yeah.
So it's like, I can't get in the store. So I walk round to the drive-through window. And now there's like a long line of queue of cars, right? So there's a guy in his car at the drive-through window, right? And all of a sudden I just appear in between him and the window. And I have to first of all say to him, I'm really sorry. I just need to quickly speak to them because he's like, what? This guy's just come out of nowhere. I'm now standing at the drive-through window with a long line of cars there. And there's literally a guy next to me with his window open. And I'm like, hey, like, would I be able to just swap this burger for a new one because it's cold? They're like, no, we can't serve you at the window if you're not in a car. Like, they were so rude. Like,
So we've literally just pulled away from your window.
I was like, yeah, but you've like the doors are locked, so I can't come in. They're like, yeah, because the restaurant's closed, so you need to drive through the drive-through. I'm like, there's like 6 cars now. It's gonna be like that. I'll be sat there for 20 minutes. I was like, I'm here. The burger's in my hand. Could you just take it and just swap it for a new one? They're like, we can't serve you if you're not in a car. And I'm like, but you've locked the doors and you want me to sit in the drive-through for 20
You
minutes.
given it to the guy and just said, can you just do this from your window?
Never have I ever come closer to throwing my food, not at someone, but I nearly threw it through the drive-through window. They were so rude.
That's what you
And
call
so-
hangry. And that, my friend, is why you put on a stone.
Yeah, did I eat that burger? Yeah, I ate that burger.
You did. You
I
came
ate
back
that
and ate
burger.
that
Did I
burger.
enjoy it? No, but I ate it. I did find I've always thought Americans are so friendly. Like, we've always been blown away because in London, like, people don't really talk to you that much. Like,
If you go for a walk, they always say like, "Hi," as you're walking past, and
yeah, you strike up
really nice,
conversations
yeah.
with people. If you go into a shop, they're like, "Hey, how you doing today? Like, what can I help you with?" Right? And I don't know what it is. Like, this time when we went back there, I don't know. Obviously, like, there's so much crazy politics and stuff going over in the US, and I'm not. I don't really get involved,
No.
and I don't really know a lot about it. I felt like everyone there just felt so angry and aggy, and like it didn't feel like the same vibe that it normally is. Like, so I'd say of all the places we went to eat, I could say 2 places I could specifically think of 2 servers who were polite to us, and everyone else was either rude or neutral.
Yeah.
Right? It was quite strange.
Yeah, it was strange.
But
and it's funny because I probably know the 2 that you're talking about because they stood out, but from being so polite.
yeah,
But I mean, we are moaning, and but we did actually have the best time.
we have to keep saying that.
And again,
The thing is, what is it? Why are we wired like this as humans to talk about the bad stuff? Like, it just is like, that's just like, it's what you do, isn't it? You have a little
because it was a
gossip with your
given.
friends,
We went on holiday. We went to Orlando. Of course, we're gonna have a great time. The weather was
Yeah.
great. Like, the kids got on so well. It was so nice
Oh,
to
and-
see Chloe be the best of friends with Logan, and she literally had been basically adopted by the Piggotts for the whole time because she wanted to be with them constantly. And it was nice to see her really enjoying herself because we've spoken on the pod about her being the middle of a baby sister and a child with special needs. So to see her really just being able to act her age or be silly with Logan, and it was just really nice to see that she
It's
enjoyed
so nice
herself.
that they've got each other because they're the same age and they get on so well. They're like chalk and cheese, but they're so cute together.
Yeah.
Like,
And she was so adventurous on it. Like, Joel took her jet skiing twice, one on like a lake, and so it was obviously really smooth. The second in the sea, which was so choppy. I saw you. I was like from the
my
sand, like,
God.
oh my God, flew up in the air like da-dunk.
we were hitting the waves, right? And our jet ski was flying in the air. And I kept stopping at first, like, you okay? Like, do you want to slow down? She's like, no,
But of course, Chloe being Chloe is like, she preferred
She's a
the sea.
speed demon.
She loved it. She loved the waves. And then you took Casey and Grace out. And obviously for me, I don't get on the jet skis. They scare me, and I'm scared of the sea anyway. But I am a little bit jealous because you literally had dolphins swimming around you and under you, and like
that was just magic. Like, obviously we've seen dolphins from like boats and stuff before, but being on a jet ski and just having them swim under your jet ski and around you, it felt like it was such a special moment. If they hung around a bit more, I probably would have got in with them. But
you're not actually allowed, are you?
no, I would have accidentally fallen in, I think.
Oh, is that you can get in and they can come to you, but you can't go to them?
I would have been riding on the
America,
back.
like, really strict with these
You would have
things.
seen me going down the shore riding on the back. I get arrested when I get out, but it'd be worth it.
Be worth it.
Well worth it.
And then what about you seeing the alligators? That's again something I wouldn't do.
This is up there, one of the best things I've ever done in my life. Right, I have a fascination, obsession with alligators and crocodiles. Always have done.
Well, your mum said, because when you showed her pictures, she said this has been your dream since you were a toddler.
Yeah, because I grew up in Florida. First 6 years of my life, I lived in Florida. We had a lake in our back garden. I grew up around alligators, and I think that's where the fascination began. So whenever we've been to Florida, we always end up seeing alligators. Like, they're everywhere, but you normally just see like small ones, and they're normally like right in the middle of a lake. Like, you can't really, you don't see big ones because they're not really where the people are. They're like out in the wilderness, and they are just harder to find, right? So yes, we've seen alligators, but not like this, right?
Yeah.
So when we were supposed to do this like Crystal River where you go and see manatees, so you can go on kayaks and you can snorkel.
Yeah.
But we didn't book it, and then the day we was going to go, it was fully booked. So then I was like, oh, okay, let me see if I can find somewhere else. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, do I want to see manatees, or do I actually really want to see alligators? I think I actually would rather. So then I started searching where to find like loads and big alligators in Florida. And I came across this place, which is an hour away from where we were. And it seems like it's like a hidden thing. Like I've never seen anyone post about it. I've never seen it, never heard of it. We've been to Florida. I've been going there since I was a kid. So it's like a state park, like a national park. So it is in the wild. It's just protected, if you know what I mean. So you go to the gate, there's a ranger, and you pay $6 and you park.
To be eaten.
Yeah. But it's not like what I'm trying to say, it's not like a theme park thing. It literally is the wild.
Yeah.
So they just give you a map and they send you on your way, and it's like an hour's walk. And as you get closer, you start to feel like you're not even in Florida. Like I was like, it feels like we're in like Africa, or we're in like South America, or we're in like the Amazon. Like it literally is like jungle. And it's like
you, Casey, Grace, and Ryan.
Yeah, we had to get up at like 6 a.m. to go there. They only let 30 people in a day because it's like a reservation thing, like as in like it's a reserve, like to protect the wildlife. So, and there was actually only 2 other people doing the walk at the time as well. So you walk for about an hour, and then all of a sudden you get to this big open like space where it's like grass and a lake, and in the distance you just suddenly see like, you can't really quite make it out, but you're like, either that's like logs or whatever, or there's literally like 100 alligators there. As you get closer, there's literally 100 massive, and I'm talking big alligators, right? Ones that you never see unless you go to like one of those gator parks. So there was these 2 other people who were like locals, right? And he actually hunts alligators. Like the wife had like an alligator skin on her hat from an alligator caught. Like that. I was like, to be fair, the alligators are probably scared of them more than.
I thought you weren't allowed to hunt alligators.
You are.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, because the thing is, in Florida, alligators are not protected because there's so many of them.
Oh,
they actually encourage it because they're trying to keep. They have no predators. Like nothing's killing them.
Right. Okay.
Other than they kill each other and then people hunt them.
Yeah.
So anyway, they basically gave us a bit of confidence to walk round to get closer. And as we there was nothing in between us. Like literally,
you were their bait, so he can then capture it.
Literally, we're like meters away from like just the biggest alligators I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was unreal. It was like the best thing I think I've ever done. Like
Joel's had like the best time that he's already planned to go back with a friend so that they can go and do paddleboarding.
Kayaking. I'm not suicidal.
Kayaking.
You can actually kayak
through the alligators,
through all these alligators and through the rivers, which is still very dangerous, but I've seen people do it. But I was saying to Sarah, like, because you go on like girls trips like with your friends Casey and Grace, and you're going to Ibiza this year.
Yeah.
And you did Ibiza last year with your friends, and I was like, I don't really want to do that. Like, I want to do more stuff with friends, but I don't want to go to Ibiza. Like, it's just not the sort of thing I want to do. So then when I was there, I was like thinking, my other friend Sly, like he's obsessed with Florida like the way I am. So I was like, should we just do like a road trip, like just the 2 of us, just do like all the adventurous stuff? So yeah, we're gonna plan that.
No, I'm really excited for you. That's really good. Because
So,
there's things that I would never do.
Yeah. And also like going with like all the kids and that, obviously I love it, but like I also want to be able to just like
be a little bit more risky,
but also just be able to just like move around in Florida more. Do you know what I mean? Like if there was somewhere and I'm like, even going to an alligator place, I was like, for it to not be an inconvenience for like the whole family.
Oh, you had to get up and go super
I'm going to leave at 6 a.m. I'm going to try and get back by like 11 a.m. You know, like try not to like interrupt it.
Yeah.
And even Casey's like, oh, I don't know if I want to go. She did go in the end. So I'm like, if I went with my friend, like we could just literally, if there was somewhere it's like 4-hour drive, it's like, let's just do it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Sounds good. You should definitely get that booked. It'll be another thing that he books the day before. He's telling me he's going in June.
Your dad said, when are you going to book it? And I said, probably the day before I leave.
No, I'm not having that again. You said as well last time with the ski trip.
Talking of your dad, we also had a scary moment with your dad on holiday, and he ended up in hospital, which is just crazy.
Yeah, he basically has a problem with his heart. And this night in particular, he thought he was having a heart attack. So they called an ambulance. They took him in, and his numbers, they basically take your bloods to see if you're having a heart attack. And he wasn't, but his numbers kept increasing. So there's
like an enzyme that goes in your blood.
Yeah, I mean, you know better. Cause
I went to the hospital I was
He was
I was
nice.
by your dad's side the whole time. No one else went. So it's
No one
like,
else had a chance.
Pete,
Joel
I
was-
love Pete.
Joel
I love
heard
you.
you'd been taken to the ambulance. I was actually very impressed. Like I said this, like you was so lovely. The fact that you didn't even ask anyone if they were going up there, or you just took it upon yourself of being like, your dad's in hospital, I'm getting ready, I'm going up so he's not alone. And you was also like, I don't know how he's going to deal with like the insurance bit afterwards. So I'm going to go there just if he needs support with that, because you weren't sure.
Well, because the thing is that in America, you can rack up you can rack up a bill of like 100
Well, we were
grand
saying we
pretty
took
quick over there.
when Grace was like 1, we went and she got a really bad sickness bug for days. We ended up having to take her to hospital, and they gave her like an anti-sickness. And I think we paid back then, all them years ago, like £900 for that hospital visit. Well, he's now staying overnight, having all these blood tests.
Well, also,
You
my
were like,
friend,
ching, 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 ching.
my friend's mum went in an ambulance, and I don't know why it was this much, because this doesn't seem correct. But for somehow she went in an ambulance, went to hospital. She racked up a bill of 24 grand.
Oh my God.
Right. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure I could go there and just kind of like deal with that side of things. Obviously, your dad has travel insurance, but I didn't want them like trying to
Pay now.
get him to pay it,
Yeah.
and then he claims it. I
Because
wanted
that's
to
what
be
we
like,
did back then
because
as well.
I think if it's like a certain amount, like you just pay it and then you claim it off your insurance. But
Right.
once it hits a certain amount, I just
Yeah.
didn't want your
No.
dad dealing with that. I thought I'll just
No.
deal with
He was
that.
very sweet. And then you rang me like, right, he's got to stay in overnight. I'm going to come and get all his stuff for him. And I'm
I went
going
and
to
got
get
him
him
a load of
snacks. You got him
snacks.
snacks. You got him food. You came home and got his stuff. You took my mum back up so my mum could see him. Like it was just very, because my mum obviously couldn't drive over there. It's very
The
sweet.
thing is, I know like your dad is. He gets like obviously we said about he's a nervous flyer. This is 2 days or 3 days before we're supposed to fly home. 3 days before we fly home from anywhere, he's already
Thinking about
in a
that
nervous
flight.
state, and now he's in hospital, and
Yeah.
there's all this stuff going on. There's gonna be like insurance stuff. There's gonna be this, gonna be that. So I was just like, yeah, let me just go and help him. But yeah, he was actually. He had like this level of enzyme in his blood, which suggests that something was going on with his heart, but it wasn't a heart attack. And until that level came down, he wasn't allowed out. So he had to stay in overnight. Then obviously there was a chance that he was then going to have to stay and miss the flight. If he stayed like another day, he would have missed his flight. And I know that he would be freaking out. So I was saying to him, like, if you miss the flight,
I just happened to stay with you,
I will take one
I
for
would
the
let
team.
Sarah fly home with all the kids on her own, and I will stay with you.
I've got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was saying to the doctors, maybe just keep him in for a couple of weeks. Just
Yeah.
let's be safe, guys. Come on. Right. I'll sit by the
Joel
beach.
was just desperate not to come home because
No, I'll be honest. Like, I was desperate not to come home. But I also.
I even heard him when he was on his phone to his friend to say, "What about if I just stay here and you meet me out here now?" I'm like, mm-hmm. And then this morning you were like, oh, I should have just stayed in Florida.
Well, I should have, because
Chloe
I'm now
said the
just
exact
like,
same thing to me when I had to wake up for school this morning. She was like, oh, I wish we were still in Florida.
The thing is, I've got so much work to catch up on. I'll be sat in David Lloyd on my laptop for probably like 10 hours a day. So I'm kind of like, could have just done that in Florida. Could have remotely done the podcast. Imagine that. I'm just on the beach. No?
No.
Okay. Cool. Tried. But anyway, no, I just, yeah. But the thing is, once I said that to your dad, as in, I will stay, we'll sort it. Don't worry. Like, it then took the edge off for him.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, of course.
yeah. The thing is, like, we all know your dad so well now, don't we? As a family, we just kind of know how we.
No, but it was really nice actually, like for you to do that, because obviously he's my dad, and it's normally something
where
that
was
I
you?
would have been. No one
was
had
any
a
of you?
chance, babe. No one had a chance because you stepped up that quick. That like you. I'm trying to give you a compliment, and you're out here shutting me down.
I'm just joking. I'm just
Stuff
joking.
your compliment.
I'm just joking. But anyway, yeah, dad was absolutely fine in the end. Obviously, flew home and everything.
And that's when we then had the day at the beach. It was really nice. And then we did get to have a meal on the beach with the sunset, which was really lovely.
And the food was good, but the waitress was so weird and annoying and rude. She was so rude. Like, I was just like, this is really ruining it for me, because this is like the last night, and the food was so good. I was really not. I I get really annoyed if people are rude because I think we're never rude to anyone, right? And it just annoys me. I'm like, we're here to eat food. Like, there's no need for you to be rude, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I was really trying not to let it ruin it for me, but
And everyone was giving her excuses. Oh, maybe the big table before has really annoyed her. We're like, oh, so we've been extra polite. You know, we knew someone's
no,
being rude,
that's
you've been
what
extra
that
nice,
was then
extra
annoying
polite,
me because you
trying.
lot were all being so nice, and I'm like, she's blatantly being so rude to
Because
you
it was just being like, if you've had a stressful table before,
Kill her with
we're not like
kindness.
that. We're good 14 people, I swear.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it was good. It was.
No, we did actually have the best time.
But the thing is, the night before your dad went into hospital, I chose a restaurant, and also your dad has a phobia of like getting food poisoning, being sick, all this kind of stuff, and he's always nervous to eat somewhere new. Well, obviously, I went on Google and I was reading reviews of like where to eat and stuff to make sure we find somewhere good. And we found this place.
Oh,
and
and I was also the problem here because I was like, I want to have somewhere we can walk to because I really want to have a couple of cocktails with my dinner. Every other night, I'm like, we'll drive wherever. But this night, I'm like, actually, we'd been by the pool and I'd already had a couple of cocktails. So I'm like, well, I can't drive and I want to have a couple more. I ended up getting really drunk.
You were so drunk.
I was so drunk. I'm like, this food's delicious. I wouldn't be able to tell you if it was delicious or not. But
the vibe of the restaurant was so cool. It was outdoors.
Live
they
music.
had like the what's the cornhole game with the sandbags.
Yeah.
They had like the ring thing that you kind of do on a string, and we were just up and around, and they had live music, and the food was unreal. It was like the best food we'd eaten since we'd been there. Like, it was so good. And then
3 out of our 14 got
food poisoning. Yeah, Ryan was being sick, and then the other 4. Your mum, Emma, Ryan, and your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then your dad ended up in hospital with the heart thing. So I felt so guilty as well because I was like, but then when I went back
on the reviews, there was nothing.
no review
Because basically, the ambulance picked my dad up. They had said that they'd been to this place and got food poisoning. They were like, oh, that's the worst for it. And if you had the beer, you're going to be worse. And Ryan had the beer and he was the worst. Sick and the other end.
It was like draft beer off the tap.
So I think
but the ambulance had said, yeah, we've been called to a few people before who've eaten that. And I was like, but the reviews were so good.
And it was so busy. Every night, it was so busy. You would drive past, it was so busy.
But the food was so good that even after everyone said they had food poisoning, I was like, well, I didn't. I want to go back there because that food was good.
It was really good. And the alcohol was delicious. I was so drunk. I was
You
so carefree that night.
Oh my God. I was saying, do you know what?
Drunk Sarah's a better mum.
If she was an alcoholic, like, I'm not even like, I'm not saying that I want you to be, but I'm just saying, like,
I mean, the kids.
You were so carefree. You weren't stressed. It was lovely. I was like, I need to get her drunk more often.
It was, yeah.
Especially if we're going somewhere like that's going to be potentially stressful, like a theme park. Just get you drunk every time we go to a theme park.
No, that is stressful. They do stress me.
Do you know what,
though?
I've got a honey we need to talk. Don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way.
What is it?
Well, maybe we'll just move on. Should I do it? Do I want lag? Happy wife, happy life? I don't know.
I'm not happy.
Okay.
Jake.
I'm going to say it. Sometimes, and just hear me out, okay?
Yeah.
Take this in the right way. Sometimes you add stress to situations that weren't otherwise stressful.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay, and I'm not just talking about like, where's the kids? I get that. You have a fear of losing the kids. So when we're at a theme park, I understand it and I make allowances for it. Sometimes the situations which aren't stressful, we're in a contained space and you bring stress and I don't understand it. And then you're then stressed at me because I'm not stressed. I'm carefree. And you're thinking I'm being like not irresponsible, but you're thinking like I'm not being helpful because you're now stressed with the situation, but I'm not. And I'm like, but it wasn't a stress. You've brought the stress. Now you want me to meet you at your stress level. So we're both stressed. So you feel like I'm actually helping you. But like, I'll give you an example. Dave's Hot Chicken. We went there, yeah? Do you remember we went to Dave's Hot Chicken, yeah? You went off with Grace to Subway because she didn't want to get Dave's Hot Chicken. So me, Emma, Ryan, your mum, dad, or whatever, all the kids are in there. The kids are all on one big table. We're just kind of ignoring them, leaving them to it.
See,
No.
that's
The kids weren't being badly behaved. They were all sat down. They were just being kids. The restaurant was like, it's a vibe in there. It's loud music. There's like graffiti stuff all on the walls. Like
From the kids.
the staff, yeah, the staff are all like really nice. Like that's one place where I say the staff were really, really nice. I think the owner was in there. He was being like really friendly. Everyone was just like there, like just having a good time. And then when you came back from Subway, all of a sudden it was like there was like this stress that came with you. And even like there was this point where the lady comes to clear the tables. Well, she came over to see if people were done, and the kids were, some of them were done, some of them were not. And you were like stressing at the fact that that you wanted this lady to be able to know what she could and couldn't take. Not stressed at her, stressed for her.
Yeah.
You were stressing for her, but she wasn't stressed. She was just like, she's trying to be helpful. So she's thinking, if I can clear some stuff.
Because she said to me.
You're saying to me, she doesn't know what to take and what to leave. And like the kids are all getting up and da.
Because she came over and she said, oh, what can I take? And I said, oh, I wasn't sure. She went, oh, this is my job. Like, I need to get it done. And I thought, you've already told me that the boss is there. And she's saying, this is my job. I'm thinking, because it's cleared up.
This is my job.
Yeah.
She must have said it in a way.
No, she said, this is my job and I've got to get this done. So I then thought, oh my God, well, you've said the manager's there. What about if, because they had all got down and it did look like it was a mess. So in my head, I'm like, I can see how that could look. So I took on her stress.
Yeah, but
she was lovely. She was a really lovely lady. And
but this is my problem, right? Is you took on her stress and brought that stress to all of our family.
Then also what
you didn't need to do that.
You know what it is? Because sometimes you're not aware of like the surrounding of like, I'd only just become to sat down. So everyone's then messing around and I hadn't got to sit down because I'd taken Grace, like you said, I took Grace to get, because she didn't want to eat there. So you've all eaten. You're up over there trying and having fun. I'm trying to eat. The kids then haven't eaten. They're asking me for chips because they didn't like them chips. I've noticed they haven't eaten. When you come back over to me, you'll be like, right, let's go. But what you haven't seen is
I wouldn't say, right, let's go.
No, as in what I'm saying is you'd be ready to leave.
Yeah.
In your head, but you haven't seen how much the kids have actually eaten. So you then don't process. And it's just for you to work out where my brain goes.
I know. I think it's somewhere in the middle, right? And I understand what you're saying.
I do know I add more stress to it.
Sometimes what I think is like, say that situation, say you and Grace had just gone and eaten at Subway, yeah, and you'd never come into that situation would have happened. Nothing bad would have happened. The kids, like we're on holiday, we're eating all the time. The kids are eating snacks. Like they ain't going to miss a meal. Right, if they want to eat that stuff or they don't want to eat that stuff, like I honestly couldn't care less because.
But you know that I hadn't fully finished my meal that day when the kids want more chips, and you were like, "We'll just go get them more chips." Ask for no. So I then got up, went and got their chips. You're still messing around with Ryan over there, so there is stress that I don't think you always.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's in the middle
because you're.
But
quite
sometimes what I want to say to you is like, sometimes what I want to say is like, remove yourself from the situation and let me.
I know my problem.
If you come sit down and like all the kids, like if you said to me, do you know what, I'm just gonna go and sit over there by myself and enjoy my food because you weren't sitting with us anyway. I'm not being mean, as in like if you and Grace want to go and sit and eat your Subway over there.
I didn't get a Subway.
No, Grace is Subway.
Right, yeah.
You and Grace go and eat together. Just leave me still with this, or go and eat outside. There was tables outside. Like, I would happily do that because. Whatever happens in there, it doesn't matter.
I can't because that's what I'm saying. My brain doesn't work like that. I know that I add stress to it, but it's because my brain overthinks of like, my brain is constantly living in the future of like, right, if they don't eat this, they're going to want food. Like whatever we're then doing, it doesn't fit in. I don't want them just eating sweets.
But the thing is as well, like I always would make sure they've eaten. Like I wouldn't do it at the time you were doing it. I would go over there and be like, right, who hasn't eaten this? Who hasn't eaten that? If they said, I don't like the chips, I would go, right, let me go and get the chips out of the seasoning. Like, I would do that. I'm just not doing it as you're always getting into it first.
Yeah, but
then it feels
but that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think you're aware of your surroundings sometimes, or you're like, because
I'm not.
You would do that when everyone's then ready to leave. So I'm also on that thing of, like you said,
no one was in a rush. Like we had nothing to do. That this is what I also always say to you, like. Sometimes it always feels like as if we're always like there's somewhere we need to be and there's something we need to do.
We did, babe.
No.
We had to get home and pack to go to the next place. So everyone was ready to.
Yeah. We did have to go back and pack, but it wasn't like we had like a certain time. Like if we spent an extra 10 minutes, 15 minutes in there, like it wouldn't have made any difference. So what I'm saying is like it always feels like there's something like, even when we were getting off the plane yesterday, you said to me, what did you say? Like I was trying to sort the buggy out. We were the last people on the flight. There's no one behind us. And you're like, come on. I'm like, what do you think I'm doing?
Oh my God, honestly, you say to me, don't take it serious, like to heart, but how many times had I said to you on that plane, my belly, I am in agony.
But babe, I was sorted. What do you think? I wasn't sitting on my phone.
You were being so slow, and I
had the buggy, right? So basically, we were going to try and push the buggy down the aisle. We had to see it doesn't fit. So then I'm folding the buggy up, and I'm getting my stuff.
And also, okay,
I'm like, okay.
Also, the air hostess was about to walk behind you to the point where she's like, do you need my help getting you off the plane? Do you need help with your bags? That's how long you was taking. Then you're rummaging for your snacks that you left.
I wasn't rummaging. I literally pulled the thing just to make sure I hadn't left like a phone or anything in there.
Well, when I get off the airplane, I clear all the snacks away. I clear all our rubbish. You'd never know we've sat there. Joel wanted to leave his.
Someone might want them.
No. So you actually, I was also a little bit embarrassed that you're leaving all your mess there.
Anyway, like I said, don't take it to heart.
Just, if you're a bit more aware of what's going on, you could then
I think
take
the
a little
thing
bit
is,
of my
we
stress.
can both recognise it's somewhere in the middle.
It's somewhere more towards you cause me stress.
No. Some situations will be stressful. We're a big family. Some situations don't need the stress. Just leave it at the door. And that nicely brings us to the end of today's episode.
Oh, and I didn't even get to talk about my panic attack.
Oh, save it for next episode.
Yeah.
Guys.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, the thing where I'm surprised Sarah didn't murder me. But yes, anyway, I live to tell the tale. Okay, so guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And, well, I guess our next milestone would be 200k, which would be lovely.
That would be very nice.
But you don't want to hear me banging on about it for the next year,
So just
do you?
do it so we don't have to keep asking. Just like 100k of you like now, just like
bam.
Ding, ding, ding.
But yeah.
So thank you guys. We will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.